ATL to California to Arizona and everywhere in between. Dame Daniels on the show, yeah. Dame Daniels on the show today, guys. There he is. World traveler, works with a lot of different artists, works in several different areas.
Yes.
All right. How you doing today, bro?
Oh, I'm good. How you doing, man?
I'm fine, man. It's off to a bang. It's a good start here today. Can I offer you a soda or a beer or something of that nature?
You got some water?
I don't have water
Yeah,
today,
let's get a
so.
soda then, man. What you
Dr.
got?
Pepper? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I do have a fireball as well, but that's not the direction you're heading.
Oh,
if you
nah.
want a
I don't
Fireball.
really drink like that.
I
You know
should have
what I'm
offered
saying?
that.
Not anymore, though.
I should have offered that to Buford, but he might have hung
Oh,
around
yeah.
all day if I started feeding him liquor. How are you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm good, man. Just stay busy. You know what I'm saying?
I know you are. I followed you. I listened to a bunch of your music over the past few days to
Okay.
get familiar. If I hadn't, I've only been, I've been knowing you for about a couple years, and you sent me
Yeah.
singles that we played on the air.
Yeah.
Time Froze, Bounce Back especially,
Yes, sir.
which is one I like a lot.
Right.
How is everything going for you in your journey, in your pursuit? I know everybody has been. It was just stream time of the year when we're worried about streams, and I know you get around. I know you do big features with people, and I know you have a lot of music. So how is back to my question? I should just let you answer. How are you going on your journey at the current time?
Well, basically before COVID, we was planning a tour. We planned a 10-city tour. I actually knocked out one of the dates in San Diego, which was the same day that we lost Pop Smoke. Long live Pop Smoke.
Okay.
I actually did that show. I got booked to do Phoenix, and then I was gonna go to Vegas, and then the Bay Area, and then up to Washington, and then kind of like do a West Coast run. And then this is around probably like maybe 2 months before COVID hit.
All right.
And then we kind of had to come up with a plan B. So I told my manager back in Atlanta, I was like, "Yo, we got to hit him where it hurts. We got to just keep hitting them. You know what I'm saying? With singles, music, whatever we need to do, to generate this the streaming income or whatever, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So basically, I went ahead and we just dropped the string of records. Bounce Back happened to be one of them. We reissued it because we had some issues with our publishing. So with the Bounce Back record, we did some numbers with that so far. So far, we over 150,000 streams on Spotify. We peaked at over like 50,000 monthly listeners or something like that. And we just keep the momentum going. That's it.
That's great, man. It's great to hear. Do you have management? Do you have a team?
I
So
do.
you have a management team.
Yeah.
How is what convinced you, and when in your career, and what convinced you to sign to a management team?
Well, originally I've been going through different managements throughout the years. Like my career spans at least 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing my thing at least since the early 2000s. I originally started in the late 90s. You know what I'm saying? So when I signed my first management deal, she was trying to get me signed. So what happened is that I ended up getting booked to do This Is 50. This is 2013.
That's big. Did your manager help with that?
Yeah, she did.
Okay,
She the one who booked it.
That's working. That's
yeah.
working.
So
Okay.
what happened is that ended up happening, and then on top of that, T.I. ended up reaching out. You know what I'm saying?
Incredible.
So yeah.
All
So
right.
this is 2013. This is around the same time. He had Hustle Gang and all that. So the only reason that we really didn't move forward with that was because Doe B, which was one of his artists from Alabama who
I remember the name.
Doe B.
Yeah.
So he ended up, we lost him, and then basically we kind of parted ways not too long after that, me and my management, and then I ended up signing with another manager who was a former NFL player by the name of Michael Thompson.
Okay.
And he played for the Atlanta Falcons and stuff. He used to be Future's road manager. He did bookings for Young Scooter. He did a lot of stuff in the city of Atlanta, and he ended up picking me up, and then I was doing a lot of walkthroughs with him. I was doing showcases and stuff like that, and then we ended up parting ways. And then I got my manager now, who's basically handling everything. He was the one who got me on the radio, the FM radio. He got me my first Billboard record. He got me a lot of stuff, going on.
Sounds great. So it sounds like management has always done well for you.
Yeah, it has.
They've made moves. They've worked for you.
Yeah.
So luckily, you've got in touch with good managers. It sounds like the first two, at least, you met in Atlanta. Is the third one from Atlanta as well?
Yeah, well, he's originally from South Carolina, but he's been in Atlanta for some years. So, I say both.
Do you go back and forth?
I sure do.
Between California, Arizona, and Atlanta?
I do.
How do you break your year up? Or is it just from time to time, it's no set schedule?
Well, originally I am from Cali, so I got a lot of family out there. My sisters are out there. My mother's out
Northern,
there.
Southern?
I was born in Northern Cali, in Monterey County. So I was born in Salinas, California.
I actually stayed in Monterey County.
I heard an interview.
I did the Pebble Beach.
You sure did.
I worked on the Pebble Beach golf course.
That's not too far.
Very beautiful.
It sure is.
Caramel, Monterey, Carmel, I guess I should say.
It's Carmel. Yeah, it's Carmel.
Okay, so Jessica checked in and said she's a huge fan of Dame Daniels.
Oh, that's my sister, man.
Oh, well, there you go. you didn't have to tell everybody that. We could just let it go. But hey, family, it's nothing like family. Family love is beautiful.
For sure.
So you grew up in California. When did you move out away from California?
Well, the situation is that I was born in Salinas. I ended up being raised in King City, California, which is a small town 45 minutes south of Salinas. I don't know if you ever heard of the Soledad State Penitentiary.
No.
It's actually a maximum security prison in California, one of the most craziest ones.
Level
you know what
4
I'm saying?
or 5, all that crazy
something like
shit,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So basically, I was raised outside of that area. You know what I'm saying? The middle of nowhere. It's like a rural area. You know what I'm saying? So
usually that's where the prisons, especially supermax prisons, are in the middle of nothing.
Yeah. So I was raised right there, right next to Highway 101. And basically I was there till I was maybe about 17, and I ended up going to Atlanta in probably 2004. You know what I'm saying? And I've been there. I'm 35, so I ain't gonna fly.
Okay,
you know
so half your life in Cali, the other half in Atlanta.
So I tell people Atlantafornia because that was the title of my previous project that I dropped in 2017.
I'm aware. We're gonna talk about that. Sure. I went through your music. I saw a project that you released in 2007.
Yeah.
Let me get down my list here. That was Project Kingstown?
Yeah, actually that was a project that I did in 2007. It was I did that in 2007. That was my very first project I ever did. It was crazy because when I did the project, I had two well-known features, and that was K Reno from Houston, Texas.
I recognize K Reno.
Yeah. So he's a legend in the South. You know what I'm saying? So,
especially Texas.
Yeah, I was just I was blown away. I pulled that off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then
on your first project, that's big.
Yeah, for the first one. You know what I mean? So AP9 from the Mob Figures. Anyone that's watching that's from the Bay Area is very aware of who the Mob Figures is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They got put on by SIBO. One of the members, the Jacka, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately,
familiar
lost
with
his
the
life.
name?
Yeah. So he lost his life a few years back. Yeah. I ended up doing a record with AP9, and I ended up getting him on the project, and we dropped that in 2007. You know.
So half your life it's interesting. Half your life in California and half of your life in Atlanta.
Yeah.
What is and I believe, I don't want to overstep my bounds, but I believe you are Hispanic, Latin?
I'm actually, I just did my DNA not too long ago.
Uh-oh, we did the DNA. What came back? So
it came back. I'm Filipino.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Mexican.
That's
I'm
Northern
indigenous
Cali.
Mexican.
That's Southern Cali.
So, so no, I'm
You're
also
all California, right?
Right. So I'm also just found out on my daddy's side that I'm actually second generation Spaniard. My mother, she's from my grandmother, should I say, she's from Barcelona.
Okay.
So she came out to Texas, I believe, and then married my grandfather. They all came out to San Jose. A lot of my family's in San Jose.
All
so
right.
My mother, she's from San Jose.
Very diverse background. I
very
appreciate
diverse.
that.
You dig? So
you like me though. Do you sometimes catch trouble because people can't automatically maybe figure you out?
You know, they always ask me crazy thing is that especially in Atlanta, because there's not really a Hispanic hip hop community.
I was getting to that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so we. You know, I'm always the Spanish kid in the all black venue. You know
Understood.
what I'm saying? That's really what it is with me when I was in Atlanta. This early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? So I fuck around and be like, yo, I get on there, do what I do, and go home. You know what I'm saying? And every time I step off stage, you be like, man, what race is you? You know what I'm saying? I just
People usually are curious.
Yeah,
they're
very curious. Yeah, for sure. So I tell them, I just be like, I'm Mexican and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
and sometimes they'll be like, yo, man, I swear you was Puerto Rican. I'm like, okay, I'll be whatever you want me to be.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? As long as you're listening.
I've said this a million times, but on the East Coast, we're not as used to Native or Mexican culture as we are Puerto Rican. When Latin culture on the East Coast is predominant Puerto Rican culture.
Right. So
now I know it's changed. I watched it changed over the 90s. I'm an older man, so I've watched the change in the ebb and flow as people move around the country.
Right.
That was my question. What is the Latin Hispanic scene, movement, population like in Atlanta? Because Atlanta is known as a chocolate city.
It is.
And when I visited there, I've only visited once or twice. When I visited there, my impression of Atlanta was very much that probably it seemed like to me white people keep to themselves, the black people keep to themselves, and
oh man,
people kind of stay in their area. We spoke with some gentlemen. We said, man, there's a great soul food restaurant like 5 miles that way around the corner, and they looked at us and said, well, we don't ever go over there.
Right. So,
but this was in the early 2000s, so I don't know how things have changed in Atlanta Atlanta's got to be booming over the last 20 years.
It has,
with all the music, with everything, the sports, everything they have going on, becoming a black Mecca. Becoming maybe a gay Mecca. I don't want to speak out of turn, but
right.
You know, maybe that's what I hear. That's what people tell me. I don't know.
You know, it's crazy because when I first started, this is probably like 2001, I started putting out music in the city, and I didn't really make the official move because I was still in Cali when I was putting out music in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So I was going back and forth at the time. So I ended up, you know, making it official. So, you know, around that time, you know, it wasn't really any Mexican artist doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Right. So up until maybe like Cap G when he first started doing his thing, and he with his group, you know what I mean? Like, cause the Cap came from his group, you know, the Kids That Play, that's what it stands for. So I remember, that's how I remember it, cause I was following what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, wow, man, there's other Hispanics. And then when around the same time when I got with Mac Dre's label, Thiz Entertainment, I ended up working with another artist who was Waka Flocka's artist under Brick Squad. His name was Cartel MGM. I actually have a record. The record that we did together is out now. You see what I'm saying? So when we did that record, that was maybe 2011, and we were basically like, yo, like, I didn't know there was Hispanic Latin artists doing shit out here. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, I was like, man, I feel accepted now.
Yeah, it's a good homecoming kind of feeling, right?
For sure.
Yeah. I remember the first time I walked into an underground very hip-hop party where they clapped for freestyles and respected DJs scratching, and this was around 99 2000, and I had almost given up on hip-hop.
Right.
And I walked into that, and I very much felt like the bumblebee finding the field of bumblebees, where these are my people. I have a community now. It's not just me in the wilderness against the world. So I can relate to that feeling. Is it working out of Atlanta and doing a lot of work in Atlanta? Is it inspirational? Is it depressing? Because I know you can very easily. You probably have seen people that you saw come from nothing and rise to greatness. Some of them you may have seen early when they were nothing, or some of these people you may even interacted with or know. Is that inspirational, or I know it can be both, and just speak to that. What is it feeling like in Atlanta with so much popping off, with unlimited potential, people becoming stars in a matter of what seems like minutes to the rest of the world, maybe years to the people of Atlanta, but how does that feel?
It's cool because one of the first people that I met in Atlanta was Zaytoven. You know what I'm saying? And he was this is around the time when he first came out with So Icy. So basically what happened was...
You still got his number?
I actually talked to his right-hand man, Humble G. So me and him, we still in good cahoots. You know what I mean? He actually just DM'd me earlier today. So, you know, like, basically what happened was...
around the time So Icy came out, that's where you were.
So when it came out, he had this mixtape with this label that he's been running ever since called Familiar Territory, right? So he had a mixtape, and what really kind of blew me away was the fact that he originally was from the Bay Area, from Northern Cali as well. So he came in with a whole different sound. Like, I'm talking about, like, when So Icy came, it gave me them West Coast vibes. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. So when he when I heard the mixtape, there was another record that he had that featured Gucci and Jeezy that was the Black Tea remix. You know what I'm saying? So I actually listened to that. I told him to his face, I was like, man, that's probably one of the hardest songs that I've ever heard you do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was just like, man, I appreciate that. Woot the woot. You know what I'm saying? Because around that time when I met him, he was still cutting hair at Stonecrest Mall. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I ended up meeting him at his basement studio, like that they documented and been mentioning in books where Gucci started his career at. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up meeting him in 2005. So I actually kicked it with him a couple times, and around that time, the next time I saw him, he was like So Icy started popping off. It was after the beef. You know, the beef started igniting.
Yeah.
So I was still hanging around with them. I mean, I remember the time when me and him and was it Ox from Belly? Was it Louis, the one who just passed away? Yeah, he just passed on, and you know, we all met up and stuff like that. I was just a kid. I was 19 years old. I was, you know what I mean, sitting here soaking up game. I'm like, dude, I'm a kid from goddamn Salinas, California. I didn't never see no shit like this. You know what I'm saying? So like throughout the years, you know what I mean? Like I started seeing him elevate into who he is, you know what I'm saying, today. You know what I mean? Because that night when we kicked it, I got so drunk I passed out on his couch. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's how deep it was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they were even telling me, yo man, Zay, he's gonna work with you. He's gonna work with you. So around that time, we fell out of contact because I ended up moving on the other side of town. You know what I'm saying?
Just bad timing.
Yeah, bad timing.
And then once he took off, it's hard to catch. It's hard to fall back into contact. Sure, no, I can get it. I understand.
For sure.
I understand. Going from, I know Northern Cali is very diverse and people get along better and probably in a different way than in a lot of places in the country. That's what my friends from Northern Cali have expressed to me, and it seems that way to me. I don't have any evidence to the contrary. But for you growing up in Northern Cali, moving to Atlanta at 17 and immersing yourself in such a black culture in such a black city, were there any difficulties? Was it culture shock? Were there things you needed to learn fast, or did you have a mentor that somebody took you under their wing? What was your experience when you first immersed yourself in such a black culture in such a black city?
It was kind of like reenacting the 8 Mile, you know what I'm saying?
You had to prove yourself a lot.
Yeah, I had to prove myself a lot. You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't very much of a battle rapper. You know what I'm saying? I was more like songwriter, performer. You know what I mean? Things like that. Yeah. So I ended up having a mentor when I first got to Atlanta. I just knew one person. That was my homeboy H. Greed, and we ended up linking up. Who happens to be my wife's cousin. Me and my wife. That's actually his cousin. So make a long story short, you know, he ended up you know, taking me under his wing. You know what I mean? He didn't teach me. He taught me how to write songs and like what the song format is and how to count bars, structures and stuff like that, right?
Gotcha.
So we ended up doing a show together at this place in College Park called the Crow's Nest, and it was a well-known venue. A lot of people came through there, and you know, just did their thing. And you know, on top of that, you know, real Atlanta folk, they know about the Peacock. You know what I'm saying? They know some venues out in Bankhead. You know what I'm saying? You know, we was going all over the city. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that, you know, when it was all said and done, you know what I mean? Like people started catching on to what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like he was out there doing his shows. I was kind of being his little hype man, and they're paying attention to me more than it was him. You see what I'm saying? I was like, bro, it's straight. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like he kind of fell back after a while, and he just kind of like did the songwriting thing, and you know what I'm saying? He settled down, started a family. That's what's up. I dig that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I kept it going. You know what I mean? I'm like, I feel like even now I got something to prove. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah. So
well, for everybody out there, especially those that are just starting, hip hop is a lot like a video game. There's levels, and you achieve one level, then you would be surprised that when you get to the next level, it's a lot like starting over.
Yeah.
And especially when you move around to different cities. So I appreciate everybody that moves around like that, and I appreciate how much you move around.
Appreciate it.
When you first started rapping or getting heavy into rap, did you encounter any problems with your friends or family? Now, Latin people are known for having an extreme work ethic. And, you know, being a hip hop artist doesn't always seem like a lot of work, especially from the outside. And especially if you're not being black, to immerse yourself in black culture can also be a little weird for some family or friends. Did you encounter any weirdness or problems with your friends and family from rapping?
You know, I did. I've had a lot of, you know, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like my family really doesn't like accept what I do, and that's fine.
They never have, don't?
They still don't.
Wow.
Like, you know, I have maybe my mom. She really, you know, holds the fort down and, you know, like really supports everything I do. You know what I'm saying? You know, make a long story short, you know, I'm adopted. So, you know, with the, you know, with on top of that, you know what I'm saying? And you have these goals and you want to, you know, better yourself and you want to do this and that and the third. And these people are your adopted family. You know what I'm saying? They already looking at you crazy as it is. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what you mean you finna rap? What you mean you finna do this? You ain't going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I just was just, you know, like I said, just goes to me showing and proving, you know, what I'm capable of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they support me or not.
Is it easier to tell your family to fuck off when you're adopted?
It is.
Because I'm just going to relate. I had problems rapping and being immersed in black culture. And there
Yeah.
were times, now I'm never going to say, because I'm not that dumb, I'm never going to say that I wish I was adopted.
Yeah.
I will say there were times when I had difficulty with my real blood family that I entertained the thought of what it would like to be adopted
Yeah.
and not have such a blood devotion. I come from a family where you're very much a close knit family. We're in this together. I was a spitting image of my father everywhere I went. They knew who I was before I said a word.
Yeah.
So that was a bit overwhelming, So I'm trying to give you a little glimpse into this so that maybe you could appreciate one positive of being adopted, because I know it's tough. I have other friends that are adopted.
I mean, honestly, it's really the circumstances. It's a very long story, but that's the circumstances. Like I tell people, like it's gonna be that time where it's gonna be like, yo, I'm finna tell that story. You know what I'm saying? Like you may never know. We might have a part 2, and I might break it down a little more. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
We don't have to talk about everything today.
So,
That's fine.
And I like the
DMC didn't find out that and didn't get it all worked out until he was an old man.
Well, you know what's crazy?
He went a lot of his life not even knowing he was adopted.
I just found my biological family probably like back in October.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you the bag. It's August, and then I found my mama's side August, and then I found my daddy's side like maybe 3 years ago.
Well,
you know
God
what
bless.
I'm saying? So
God bless.
yeah. So it's been a real cool, like a new journey for me, because it's like a new chapter in my life. You dig what I'm saying? So I've like to this day, like I'm just like, yo, I'm still like blown away that they even dig what I'm doing. You know
did the genetic testing help you find them?
It actually was the reason.
Okay, that's how you found them.
Yeah, that's how I found them.
I've been put up on that's how a lot of people are figuring out that they have family members maybe they didn't know about, adopted or not. Through this genetic thing, they can actually call you and tell you these people have your genetic markers.
And you know what's crazy? When I found out, when my older sister, the first day I talked to her, she was like, yo, you know who you got your music ability from, right? And I was like, you know who related to? I'm like, nah. She was like, yo, we related to Richie Valens.
Wow.
I was like, yo, for real?
Wow.
That didn't even show up in no DNA. She told me. And then I was like, I had to get some confirmation over that. And he's a very close relative. He's like a second, third cousin to us. You know what I'm saying?
The people are already on here, wanting the part 2 already. So we'll definitely, if we don't do it today, we'll definitely come back and do it.
We can do it.
I think it's an interesting story, especially for someone like me who grew up very tied to his family. It's always interested when people have these. Now, I have cousins all around that I'm not even very aware of. So I guess I look at it kind of like that.
Right, for sure.
But I mean, to be adopted and discover, I've had friends that have discovered their adoptive parents later in life, and I feel like it's good for everybody, as long as sometimes people adopt and they don't want to be found.
Right.
And some people have to deal with that. And
I know people like that.
I guess to each his own.
For sure.
But I feel like for the kids that are adopted and the grown people now that are adopted, I feel like it just fills in some kind of hole or void. Now, this is just me guessing. I'm not adopted. Did it do that for you? Did it kind of complete a picture for you?
It closed one chapter and opened another. That's how.
Did it feel like you could move on to other things?
Yeah,
Maybe you were being held back by not knowing certain things and all that?
I mean, the support is there. The support is there. It just makes me grind harder because, I also have nieces and nephews that I never knew about. I have a niece that I've been, that just turned 18, and I'm like, yo, I've been an uncle since I was 17 years old. Like, what? Like, that's dope.
Wow,
you know
that is dope.
So,
that is dope.
Yeah.
Well, God bless you on all that journey. We'll move on to something else, and we'll talk about that at a later time.
Yeah, for sure.
You have a unique perspective because you move around so much.
Yeah.
What do you think is good, and what do you think is bad about the Arizona music scene?
Honestly, the good, there's a lot of good quality music coming out. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Me personally, I have a personal couple favorites. J. Rob the Chief is one of my top favorites
right now.
Big guy.
Should be one of the first to blow soon.
I think give him like at least a couple years, he'll get a gold record. Like at least, if not sooner. You know what I'm saying? Dan G, that's another one. Crazy thing is that, like I said, prior to me moving to, AZ, like I dealt with Mex Manny. Me and him, we have a record together that I've been sitting on forever. You know what I'm saying? That's the good thing. I mean, there's a lot of different platforms that I've actually came across, like the RTUs, you know what I'm saying, the icons, like you guys and
Shout to
stuff like that.
Chaos. You can give him a shout out. That's
For
the homie.
sure. Yeah. Shout out Chaos, man.
Terrell, and Chaos, we are really trying to build something for the artists like yourself and the others, because we're filling voids that need to be filled.
For sure.
Trying to give the scene some infrastructure so that the newer artists can get interviews and learn how to interview.
Yeah.
And for the more established artists like yourself that have all these wonderful stories, experiences, and gems to share with people. I mean, just already the things you've dropped today are magnificent. So I appreciate your contribution in music. I appreciate you coming on the show. Whatever we can do to help push it along, that's what we're going to do. I tell everybody my goal would be, if we had a huge party at one of the big venues for someone getting signed or someone releasing their major debut every quarter. I mean, I want to see where J-Rob the Chief's got his big party in February, and then Merkham's has got his big party in April, and then Joe Bills, and then Dame Daniels, and everybody's got their big parties as they have celebrations for getting signed or releasing singles, releasing albums, getting awards, Arizona artists getting gold records. I want to see these parties. I want to be at these parties.
For sure.
I want to see parties where everybody is at.
Yeah.
I go to the AZMT Awards. I go to the Arizona Hip Hop Festivals, and I don't see enough of everybody. I want to see everybody celebrating Arizona music, and that's my downside. So what's your downside?
I was gonna say, the downside about it is that I want to see Arizona artists working together more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like with Atlanta, right? Back years ago, Atlanta, like, it was always broke down with the east side and the west side in Atlanta, right? Zone 1 through 6 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Back then, the east side didn't fuck with the west side. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
Nowadays, it's like you got Young Thug dealing with someone like Future, you know what I'm saying, who's from the east side, you know what I mean? Then you got, like, T.I. dealing with a lot of, like, people from Duct Tape, you know what I'm saying, who from the east side, like Big Bang, Alley Boy, Trouble, and all them, you know what I'm saying? Like,
incredible.
And the crazy thing about it is that, you like it's kind of like it's segregated out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have all these people, like, controversy this, controversy that. Nah, bro, like, let's all sit down like bosses and let's goddamn work together and let's take this shit to the next level. Because what I be telling people is this, right? Not only Arizona, in my opinion, is the next up. You dig what I'm saying? I also believe Arkansas is the same way. I also believe Alabama is the same way. You know what I'm saying? Alabama is kind of winning now because it's like Alabama, they working together. You know what I'm saying? Now, if people decide to sit here and just put their ego to the side, you know what I'm saying, and be like, yo, let's make this shit rock. Let's do this shit for the culture. Let's do this shit for the state. Let's do this for whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? We're going to start winning.
I've experienced that on a small scale where I'm from in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Early in my life, the north side and south side did not interact at all. And if they were in the same room, they would fight.
Yep. Wow.
There was only one for that reason, most of the clubs were on one side of town or the other. There was only one club in the center of town. That was Ivory's.
Okay.
And regularly, they had fights in the main room upstairs.
Okay.
One side could say south side, north side, and then that would all, Now, that was when I was a young man, 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
And back then, the people that rapped on the north side didn't even know the rappers on the south side existed.
Right.
They didn't have any interaction, didn't even barely know each other, existed, much less work with each other.
For sure.
Nowadays, it's completely different. There's no boundaries. It might be jokes about the south side and north side, but there's no bad blood. People are definitely working together. If it's about hip hop, I mean, it's fine. Drug shit, hustle shit, they might still be killing each other. I don't know.
Right.
But hip hop shit, people are working together, doing shows together. And Richmond is a small city on a small scale, and I've seen the incredible results that it has given that city from the artists just putting shit down and coming together and working.
For sure.
And you don't have to do every song together, but support each other's shows, support each other's merch, support each other's movement. Today I'm wearing the homie Noah O's custom hat.
That's hard.
It's Peace with the hockey teams, PEACE, charged up on the back. The yellow brim, it's a beautiful thing. I look out for my people. I love new merch. I'm also wearing, just for the record, Dubs Up. This is Timberwolf Bleez's clothing company.
Oh, shout out to the homie, man.
Is that the homie?
Yeah. I actually ran into him.
Bleez
matter of fact,
is a good dude.
Yeah,
I
he's
like
a good
Bleez.
dude, man. I actually ran into him outside of a show that we did a while ago, and I believe he was outside. I ran into him, and yeah, he's a good dude, man, for sure.
I always have some kind of difficult subject, and for you, so this is your difficult subject. You're a man of Latin descent. You've been immersed in Black culture for a good while now.
Yeah.
Do you? What's your take on the N-word?
I don't really use it.
You don't really use it?
No, I don't really use it.
And why? And before we get any further, what is your reasons for, or what are your thoughts on why you don't use it?
Well, really, because for one, I'm married to an African American woman.
That's a good reason.
So
that's a good reason. Anyway, go ahead. Proceed. I'm sorry.
My son, he is Afro Latino, so
Sure.
I try to make sure that he understands. Because he says it from time to time, and I'm always correcting him.
Sure.
Hey, young man, But
Yeah.
he knows, like, what he's about. He knows his culture. He knows what what his mama is, this and that. Because his mama back in Atlanta.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
When it's all said and done, like, I just personally don't use it in my music because I don't want people to think, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? He's not known for this.
This is just your personal choice. I'm not asking you to speak for a group of people. I'm not asking you to speak for anybody but yourself.
Right.
We were talking about it with Buford, and I mentioned that aside from the fact of being a white man and being raised in the South, I've never said it because I come from a school of hip hop to where even black people were trying not to say it. The native tongue days, and people getting conscious of knowledge of self.
Right.
Those days, being divine, looking towards God or the East, and not wanting to defile ourselves with such names. So that's where I come from. Aside from the fact of not wanting to get beat up or slapped across the head.
Right.
But my main reasons, and hey, I've got plenty of people that would have given me that pass, but my main reasons are for not using it. I never wanted someone to doubt my intentions or my love for hip hop or people in general. Or I never wanted that to have to be investigated just over using that word. I like walking in peace. I like greeting people with a kind heart and a good spirit. So that word, even if I were giving pass by some people, would still drive difference and hurt and sadness in some other people, and not being able to control all that. I'd rather just not use the word.
Right. That's the way I'm the same way too. Yeah,
but it must be in a tough position, having a mixed son who a lot of people would say, he can use it. It's, it must be hard to walk that line, especially for him in today's times when it's kind of ratchet out there.
Well, his last name, my last name's Hernandez. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he, because every time when people like, oh, your last name's Hernandez, this and that. And because at first it was kind of hard for me to explain because he was a little younger, you know what I'm saying? Because now he's a teenager and he's getting to understand it a lot more. He just be like, I'm Afro-Latino and I'm proud, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you should be.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm going to run down the list of your some collabs that I noticed.
Okay.
So if you could just give me, your first couple of thoughts, whatever comes to mind when I mention these names. I've got more soda if you need it.
For sure.
And the beer is like a Miller 64. It's one of the lightest beers.
Okay.
If I don't know if that'll do it. But if you're driving, I don't want to give you that.
Oh, yeah, you straight.
But just give me your main thoughts as we go down this list. The first one, Casper Capone.
That's my brother.
That's your actual brother?
No. That's like my big homie brother.
Big homie brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us something about Casper for the people that are unaware.
Casper, basically, he's the head of Guap City Entertainment, Guap City Family. You know what I'm saying? Based out of Modesto, California. You know what I mean? Me and him, we actually met while we were under the Thiz Entertainment brand, the Thiz Latin brand.
Okay.
We actually met back in 2012, and we just vibe, man. Like he's more like the Chicano homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Like the veterano type of thing going on, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I don't want to speak too much on the politics on that side, but you know what I'm saying? Like the listeners might get where I'm coming from with this. But yeah, that's my brother, man. That's like family, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Silent G, Mr. 843.
That's actually my manager.
Okay.
Yeah. Nowadays, everyone calls him Joseph. But he
did a song with you in the past.
Yeah, it was What Y'all Wanted.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We actually ended up getting clearance from the Pusha T verse, which is on the hook. You know what
I
I'm
was
saying?
going to ask about that because it says Pusha T in the promotions, and a lot of times people will throw that in if they if they, use the beat or even if they leave their verse on it. But you actually got clearance to officially.
We actually got clearance for it.
Oh,
and
that's incredible.
What happened was
look.
is that man. So Def Jam ended up putting on the website.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
That's big. That's incredible.
This 2014.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Hey, and that just goes to show it's a grind. You've been grinding, still still on your grind. I know that.
Oh, let me add this too. When we shot the video, my homeboy G De Niro from True Records, you know what I'm saying, ended up being in the video. So if you guys watch the video, it's on my Vivo channel. G De Niro, he is in the video, man. Shout out to my brother, man.
Awesome, incredible.
We got a record coming out too.
Awesome, awesome. Eli P.
Eli P, that's the homie, man. He out in Vegas right now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We had a record that myself and Carnage the God, who was Bubba Sparks' in-house producer, I believe.
Okay.
And we ended up doing a record together, and it was called Say It To My Face. So, yeah.
Yeah, Say It To My Face. That's right. And you already mentioned him. We can talk a little bit more about him. AP9.
AP9, Mob Figures.
Mob Figures. Now, when you ran, I wanted to mention, when you ran off the names for the Northern California artists, growing up on the East Coast in Virginia, we were very much inspired by New York and then Atlanta as that shift happened.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, a lot of the Northern California artists, mainly because they were so independent,
right,
but also because we were way on the other side of the country,
right.
And California artists could make plenty of money staying in California. They didn't always need to reach out across the country as much as other artists did.
Well,
so for all those reasons, I'm saying that
I
I grew up a little ignorant. Like, I heard the names a lot of times in the record pools. I would see the records,
right,
but they really weren't demanded being played on the East Coast, and it was hard to keep a grip on everything. So a lot of times I know the names, but the individual artist stories about them fell through the crack. So go ahead and talk about AP9.
AP9, it was funny because AP9, he was one of the guys that I ended up reaching out to when I was working on the project originally. There was a couple artists from the Bay, matter of fact, that I was thinking about, like that were supposed to be on the project that really didn't make it, but AP9 in particular, I was a fan of. So we ended up doing a record, and I know he stays in Vegas, and I know we ended up doing the record. I did my parts in Atlanta. I shot it to him in Vegas. He did his thing, and he showed love, and he gave me a beat on top of that. So I was just like, man, this is hard. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up doing that. This is probably 2007, man. So yeah. Shout out to him.
Good. AP9. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the next one. K Reno, which was a big one, and we talked about it. But K Reno to me is, when I was getting free music in the early 2000s off the different sites, K Reno's name came up, and then Paul Wall kind of brought a lot of not just Paul Wall, Mike Jones,
Slim Thug,
all those guys brought a lot of light to Houston
for sure.
So much so that I even used to be a big fan of the the Latin brother that sold. He was on like one of the B videos or something, but he sold burritos, tamales out the trunk of
Chingo Bling. Yeah, Chingo Bling.
Chingo Bling. I even found out about Chingo Bling, who was a rare artist, So we got into Houston for a moment, but speak to K Reno and how important he is to that movement, because I think if you're outside of the Southwest, again, you don't know his name maybe as well as
K Reno,
as you should.
He's more like a Houston pioneer. So basically, K Reno, he has a coalition called the South Park Coalition, right? Mm-hmm. So when I first heard of him, in 2005. I was working a job at Foot Locker. That's 2005, 2006, right? So I ended up working in the stock room, and one of my partners from DC, his name was Myron. And I remember this like it was yesterday. He was playing this record from K Reno called The Worst Rapper Alive. He had an album called The Worst Rapper Alive, and it was fire. I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he is going off. He's basically like a lyrical, like an animal, you know what I'm saying? And he's been dropping music probably since the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up reaching out to him, and he actually ended up reaching back to me. We ended up working that, and he dropped the verse in probably 2 days.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
You know, it's crazy too. Like, my favorite rapper, my personal favorite, Z-Ro. You know what I'm saying? I remember
Zero.
That name. So Z-Ro, he ended up saying this in an interview one time. They asked him, he's like, man, who's your favorite rapper, man? Who inspires you? He says, man, anything K Reno do. I was like, what the fuck? I just did a record with my favorite rapper's favorite rapper. What the fuck?
Right.
That's crazy.
Is it because do you think it's more that they never wanted or needed more national recognition or to sign with a major, or was it their choice, or did it were they just a little early and just didn't? I often wonder. It seems like they were so big, they must have been offered major label deals, and I wonder, did they just not take them, or did they take them and it not work out? Because I don't feel like they got a national push the way other artists have.
Well, a lot of these artists back down south, they really just don't care about the recognition. They care about the bag. You know what I'm saying?
And they're getting the bag without it.
Exactly.
And it probably seems like a lot of trouble if you're already getting the bag. Why do it?
Exactly.
That's what I was getting to.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, because you got these artists out in the A, man, they getting $20,000, $30,000 a show, and it's like, man, why we got to go out of town for?
Right. Why leave?
Yeah.
I guess it's always been. I guess Texas is big, like California. It's kind of the same thing. Like if you make a big enough hit there, you don't necessarily have to go other places.
For sure.
Princess Digital.
Yeah, Princess from Crime Mob. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Crime Mob is a name.
Yep. Nuck if you buck. You know what I'm saying? So she that actually happened in 2016 when me and my manager, who ended up setting the collab up, him and Princess, they go back some years. You know what I'm saying? They like family. So he's I never reached out. I'm like, man, let me try to get something out of her, this and that. I ended up working with her 6 years after they knew each other. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I was just like, I was like, hey, bro, what's up with Princess? What the, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, man, let's get it. And that's when the record Shut 'Em Down came about. And Shut 'Em Down actually got on the radio, FM. We actually made the urban radio Billboard chart. We ended up breaking like 24 cities across the country, primarily the East Coast. And it did really well, you know what I'm saying, on a radio circuit. Yeah, I guess you could say we campaigned the hell out of it. You know what I'm saying? This is prior to me coming to AZ. So Princess, we're actually getting ready to put some more shit together.
Right. Well, it's good. It's good. It's big. It's big. Working with Crime Mob is big. It is a name that we know. I'm gonna get into let's get into one of your songs. We'll take a quick break, listen to one song, and then we'll come right back with you.
Yeah, for sure.
This is Bounce Back. Now, is there anything you want to speak to about recording the song before we get into
it? Basically the
any
record.
Troubles, any funny stories, studio stories?
I do got some. I do got it behind the scenes story, I guess. Originally, the record we were originally gonna play for Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Originally, Nipsey, let me put this way. My brother-in-law, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Magic. He was the one who was going to put this all together. You know what I'm saying? He's from LA, whatnot, you know what I'm saying? One of the big homies. Mm-hmm. And he was locked down, and he called, and he was just like, damn, I'm going to get you and Nip on the record together. Man, get something together. You know what I mean? I was just like, I bet. I didn't have shit together. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah. He's like, and then he calls again. He's like, man, you got something together? I'm going to reach out to Nip. You know, I was like, I bet. You know what I mean? So he ends up meeting up with Nip when he gets out, and he tells Nip, hey, man, are you going to be around on this time so we can work this out? I got a young artist in Arizona right now that's trying to get you on something. What's happening? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So didn't work out. We all know why. You know what I'm saying? But I ended up, I ended up putting the record out anyway, so.
Let's get into it. Bounce Back right here on Respect the Underground. That's it. Tune in. Check it out. We're right here with Dame Daniels. We'll be right back after this one song.
Respect the Underground Radio.
Yeah. Look. Dang. Little buddy, that's a bounce back. Y'all wish I fell off, motherfucker, doubt that. What you know about flipping naked to a zip? We let him trip, chase and check and make it do flips. Little buddy, that's a bounce back. Y'all wish I fell off, motherfucker, doubt that. What you know about flipping naked to a zip? We let him trip, chase and check and make it do flips. I speak big facts, pull
That's right. Respect the underground. Icon Radio, home of quality, independent music. Respect the underground, worldwide radio. This is Dame Daniels. Bounce back.
I hold it down the way the fucks wish they would. I keeps the hood, so don't get it misunderstood. I got laced up in the A, got paid up in the A. Haters wanna hate, I'm about to set the ass straight. Okay, that's always how it go. From family to foe, they act like ignorant hoes. He as dumb as they come. I was broke in the slums. Call me a bum. I'm treated like I'm second to none. Drug addict. I've been once since 14, serving fiends, stacking green in the scene with the beam. I rep my team, looking mean, straight beast out the east. Got murder on my mind, so I murder on these rhymes. Never murder for my shine, but I murder when I grind. Fall for my prime, so I'm taking what's mine. Just a dumb speak, but I'm a one of a kind. But I'm like, fuck what you heard, I still can sight to the blind. Little buddy, that's a bounce back, y'all. Wish I fell off,
Respect
what you know about flipping naked to a zip. We let it trip, chase and check and make it do flips. Little buddy, that's a bounce back, y'all. Wish I fell off, motherfucker, doubt that.
Dame Daniels now on Reels. If you go on Reels and you want to make a reel, you can search his name, and he has several tunes under there that you can make a reel with. I made one today. It's fun making reels with your homies' records. Give it a shot. Let's turn that, chill that out. Yeah, I enjoy and I always love, as much as I hate when they violate my mixes for playing unauthorized music, I love going on Reels and seeing people's music that I know that I can make a reel with, because I feel like they're making real moves. Let me turn you up. I feel like they're making real moves, and their music is getting into places. And I'm older. I don't even know how all that works as far as how you get your music there or whatever.
Right.
But I appreciate the fact that it is there.
Right.
And when I want to go promote something, make a quick reel, your music's there. I can use it. It's it's good. I feel like that's a step, getting to all these platforms.
For sure.
What music platform do you prefer?
Well, as of right now, we're really pushing heavy on Spotify.
Okay.
But however, we do have our own streaming platform service we are currently in development
That's
under.
a big deal.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
big
a
deal.
huge investment that we're doing. It's called Indie Plug Media.
Okay. I thought I saw a post about that.
Yeah. So my manager, Joseph, he ended up just basically the mastermind behind all that. Myself, shout out to my homie Filthy Slim out of Dallas. You know what I'm saying? He's also a part of it. Myself. Basically, what it is that it's a streaming service that people can download Indie Plug Media, and they can just download and get some of the independent music. Anyone out there listening, you guys want your music heard? Shit, holla at me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's incredible.
Yeah. So we doing that with the audios. We doing the visuals. We actually have a few partnerships out in Nigeria. Shout out to my homeboy Mondi. We actually have a record coming out. He's actually based out of Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another record that we got coming. So
going worldwide with it.
Yeah, something like that.
Very good. You're always I see you always are making interesting features. What drives your choice into choosing someone to work with on a feature?
I just basically look at what can they bring to the table? You know what I'm saying? Lately, I haven't been really too focused on features. I've really been more focused on the production. You know what I'm saying? I've been really interested in working with the producers and the DJs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like I always tell people, the DJ is supposed to be your best friend, supposed to be the artist's best friend. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. There was a day.
Yeah. So, lately I just been, I want to work with more Arizona artists because I've never worked with an Arizona artist before. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the process of doing that right now.
Okay.
There's quite a few of them. J-Rob's actually one of them that I really want to get one in with.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah. I agree. It's, a good feature really is a special thing. So I always appreciate what the thought process goes into that. Now, you mentioned for a certain time being signed with Thizzle.
Thiz Entertainment.
Thiz Entertainment, which was
the late Mac Dre.
Right.
You know
that was
saying?
his thing, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
And so you were signed there, which to me, now mind you, again, I was late on Mac Dre. I had back when I was getting free music on blog sites. I saw the immense amount of music this man Mac Dre had.
Yeah.
And then I've slowly learned of his greatness because, again, it was independent. He never needed to sell national or never got to that point. He had all these records and all this great music.
Right.
This whole great movement that was his.
Right.
And his unfortunate passing, and there's a big story with that we don't need to get into, but it's interesting if you want to go online one day and hear about it.
Yeah.
Speak about how incredible that must have been to be signed to his label coming from that area.
Man, like when I first got over there, I was still in Atlanta, and I was actually homeless, and I was sleeping out in my car. And I remember like it was yesterday, man. Like I was like, man, I was like slowly like giving up. Like I was like, man, I don't think this is gonna work anymore, this and that, you know. And you know, I ended up getting a call because I knew someone over there by the name of Tone Loc. And yeah, he ended up reaching out to me. I ended up, because I was off social media for like,
not the Tone Loc, just to be clear.
Just
a different Tone Loc.
Different Tone Loc. So out of Frisco, you know, out of the Mission District.
Got you.
So he ended up reaching out, and he was just like, yo, man, like, yo, damn, what's happening, man? You still doing your thing? I'm like, hey, yeah, man. I really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I was like trying to survive.
Well, when you're homeless, it's hard to be a rapper.
Yeah. So he ended up like, yo, man, I got a call for you. I'm gonna call you right back. He's like, man, I might have a spot for you. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. So Gold Toes, who was running Thiz Latin at the time, who was also Burner's booking manager.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And
we all know Burner, the musical weed, one of the other.
Yeah. So he ended up reaching out to me, and he was like, yo, damn, check this out, bro. I heard what you bringing to the table, because he heard my MySpace was still up at the time. You know what I'm saying? So he was hearing all the records that I had on MySpace, because I had the K Reno record up at one point, and it had like 50,000 plays or some shit like that.
Right.
So they heard it. So they were just like, hell, bro, we need you on the team. We need you on the team, out the whoop. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up working it out. And I ended up working with, probably within 2 days, I worked with Cartel MGM. And this is around the time when him and Waka Flocka, when he was starting Bricks Wild Monopoly. Mm-hmm. And he was running with Gucci and all them. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, Cartel, who the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? There's some Mexican dude, you know what I'm saying, that's killing it in the streets. So I was just like, hey, yeah, let's get it. You know what I mean? So, But I learned a lot, man, because after that, I started working with like Lucky Luciano. I was supposed to do something with South Park Mexican. You know what I'm saying? With Baby Bash and them. I was supposed to work with them. Dope House. Some of them actually reached out to me, and anytime they was in the city, hey, dang, man, what the wood, man, trying to get in the studio, what's happening? All right, let me make a call. You know what I mean? Because I was calling my engineer and be like, hey, man, I got someone that needs to pull up. You know what I'm saying? But I made a lot of connects, man. I did a lot of features too, like Jay Diggs. That was Mac Dre's right-hand man. Anyone that knows about Jay Diggs, that dude's a boss. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was supposed to do some with Messy Marv. I got some with Spice One. I don't even know if it's even out anymore. You know what I'm saying? I did shit for E40. I did a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? That they didn't even see the light of day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
that's the way it is sometimes. Unfortunately, you know, you do music and it just doesn't come out.
Yeah, and I just overall just learned a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I bet. It seems like a major milestone, major stepping stone point. Yeah.
People started taking me a lot more serious after that happened, because people in Monterey County, they were just like, what the fuck? Like, you want this? Like, I have the tattoo to this day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
and sometimes, unfortunately, it takes other people taking you seriously for you to take yourself a little more seriously sometimes, you know. For sure. And the more you grow in it, the more you get to realize, like, yeah, man, I can do this.
Right,
so I might have something here.
Right.
Well, it's been my pleasure to talk to you, Dame.
Oh, likewise.
We got to get Mr. Billy Martell from ATL.
Oh, you know what?
And both of y'all, I was happy. He's actually from the Midwest, but I don't know. I think he spent some time in ATL. We're going to talk about it today, but it's been my pleasure to have you in.
Likewise, man.
When you're out on the road, tell everybody I said what up from Swerve 36, The Mission.
I definitely
can't wait to see you on these shows. We've actually got a show coming up that's been announced February 20th. We will be doing a live taping of Hip Hop Festival at the Monarch. It goes on once again, brought to you by the #1 set in sound, Respect the Underground, Icon Radio. We're back live at the Monarch. Fully sponsored by our friends over at True Med and Select. So you know how we get down, you know how it goes. Thanks from me and everybody over here at the Mission, which is mainly just me. But thanks for coming in, Dave.
For sure, man.
I appreciate it, man. It's been a great talk. You touched on a lot of levels, and a lot of people tapped in and want to hear the round 2 on the adoption story. That's a serious subject, man. So thank you so much for coming in. That is the one and only Dame Daniels. We're giving us applause on his way out. We got Billy Martell, Bill Martell TV coming right in as soon as Dame gets out, so I'll stick with you. Please don't forget, thanks again, Dame. Please do not forget, February 20th, Respect the Underground brings you another great event. And while we're talking about bringing you great events, Respect the Underground itself is coming to Amazon, Fire Stick, and Roku. That's right. You'll be able to listen to me and all. Come on in, Billy, please, around here, please.